Oh my goodness, guys. Whew, you did not get a milking video this morning. I'm like having technical issues. Between my phone not wanting to record anything longer than like 10 minutes, I had to delete a ton of stuff off of my phone. They needed to be going through anyway, and they had some apps in there that some of them I had, they weren't even usable anymore. They're like, oh, they don't let you listen to the radio for free anymore. I'm like, oh, I should probably get rid of that app. But I tried to hurry to get the milking done because I'm on my way to go pick up, and you're going to be jiggly till we hit on the highway. We're going to be picking up, I think I only need one rooster. I counted, I have 17 hens that don't have a rooster right now. I have one rooster. I'm drinking my coffee, sorry. I have one rooster, giving you the scenic trip. One rooster, but they're my standard Cochins, and they're a very docile chicken, and he is super docile. Like, he'll be like, ooh, you want to get frisky? And they'll be like, no. And he'll be like, oh, okay, and walk away. Whereas the other roosters, they're more like, I'm coming to get you. But, so, I'm going to go, I met her through the Michigan State Master Gardener. She sells chicks and eggs and those kind of things. So, what a good dog. It's our neighbor. Reminds me of like a lumberjack because it's got that big, huge, long beard. Nice guy, though. Oh, super sweet. And we talked last summer about the monster snapping turtle that came from his lake over to my pond. I was like, that thing's scary. I think he needs to come home. But anyway, squirrel. That's what I'm acting like. Squirrel. Yes, and I know I should be stopping all the way. You cannot see over these snowbanks. It's 55 through here, so. And when you do, better go because the plows hasn't gone through there, so it's plowed here, but all that snow is got a little bit of snow here. Anyway, back to the roosters. Naked necks, I had them when we lived in Washington. My husband says they're ugly because they don't have a lot of feathers on their neck, and so of course I researched the breed because I'm a dork and that's what I do. I research all sorts of stuff, and I found that they were created before the automatic plucker was created because they have less downy feathers or something, and so it keeps them from being, it shortens your processing time. And so the part of me that wasn't thinking clearly when I bought the first set of chickens, because I was worried about them, being able to stay warm, and because they're in the barn, and because they're all in a stall together, and because I keep dry bedding in there for them, it gets cold, but it doesn't get that cold out here. It's probably 15 degrees warmer in the barn than it is outside. I mean, the waters will still freeze, but it's 17 degrees now, and in the barn, none of my waters were frozen. Some of them had a little, film of ice on the top, but they weren't frozen. And if it were the same temperature outside as it is right now, they would all be solid frozen. So, that's where I'm going to go get a naked neck chicken. She's a rooster. She's got a couple. I loved my naked necks. They go broody really easy. I have a picture of me somewhere with my first favorite hen, and I don't remember her name. Isn't that awful of me? She used to sit on my shoulder, and then she got too big, so then she would sit on my head. So I have pictures of me standing outside with this chicken standing on my head. And she was my first casualty to an eagle. I came home from someplace. I just run, and I'd let him out. And I don't know if I ran to the store to get something, and I was right back. And when we lived in Washington, I was literally like 5 minutes from a store. So I couldn't have been gone longer than 15, 20 minutes. Say a half hour at the most. I came back, and there was her body, laid out like a turkey dinner, a ring of feathers around her, and completely gutted. In the middle of the yard, right in the middle of the yard where I would see it when I came home. And of course I didn't know what it was at the time. It wasn't until many chickens later that I caught the eagle trying trying to eat one of the neighbor's chickens, and it had it pinned and was plucking it, and I don't think it survived. But I stopped, and then the neighbor stopped, and we were all like looking at it, and it had a nest, and once it found our neighborhood, it was like, I mean, I would run out and throw my boot at it. I actually trained Jack to chase big birds out of the yard. So to this day, when he sees like a big raven fly over, he starts barking and trying to chase it on the, he's on the ground there in the sky. He's not going to catch it, but it does deter. It does deter. Very similar words. It does deter them from coming down because they don't want to have to fight with the dog. I mean, that eagle, I've thrown my boots at it. I've thrown rocks at it. I've chased it. I chased it when it had a chicken, and it's a naked neck. Had one of my naked necks, was out there trying to protect her chicks. I watched it come down, and that chick ended up dying. It was sad because I set it up, and it called to its babies, and all of its babies came running and snuggled with her until she died, and then they left her. But at least she got to say goodbye. Yeah, I watched it hit one of my birds. So sometimes they'll hit the bird, so they will like stun it, and then they can hop back if it's a bigger bird and they think that this chicken's going to put up a fight. So I watched it hit it, and I thought for sure it was going to be dead. And I went running out of the house screaming, and the eagle took off, and the chicken's just sitting there looking at me with this super confused look on his face. I scooped it up, locked him all back up again. Because I would like let him out to free range, and then I'd go in the kitchen and keep all the windows open and have Jack like, watch for the bird, watch for that big bird. We would keep an eye out. It got to the point where I had geese, and then I had, a couple turkeys that they'd set out the alarm, and Jack and I'd hit the back door, running as fast as we could to get out there. This is the only one. And I can't do that now because it's not just a bird. I've got a fox. And it'll come any day, night, doesn't matter. That fox just run through and grab stuff. So, but anyway, I wanted to give you a quick, tell you why you didn't get a milking video this morning. It's Saturday, so I slept in a little bit. I was up by 5, so for me, sleeping in till like 5:30, 6 o'clock is sleeping in. So there's that. It's not really sleeping in. No one else would say it was sleeping in, but I call that sleeping in because I'm not up and running around at 4 a.m. I do have a ton of stuff to do today. I want to enclose the chicken coop now that I got the rooster and put them all in there. I need to put my laying boxes up on the wall, screw them in. Wanted to get the rest of the metal off, at least one more stall. And I wanted to, can I get to the highway here? I do believe I can. Yes, I can. And what else did I want to do? I need to trim the goat feet today because it's almost the 1st. I try and do it right around the 1st. I need to trim the dog's toenails because it's the 1st. I need to make some banana bread because the school had a whole bunch of bananas going bad, and so they put them in the teacher's lounge for the teachers to take. So I grabbed like 6 or 7 to make some banana bread. Then I made some banana chips with, a few more. So I have fresh banana chips for the goats and me. I don't like artificial banana. We had a staff meeting and they had banana bread there, and I love a good banana bread. And I grabbed a piece and I took a bite, and I was instantly like, ew, because it was a store boxed banana bread mix, which when you don't eat mixes like that, you automatically can taste the artificial flavoring. And I was just like, ew, that's so gross. I don't like that. But I ate it anyway because it would be rude not to. So we've got blue skies. They look pretty. It was supposed to be really pretty if it would just stop. We're supposed to have lake effect snow for the next week. And as you can see, the roads are not, I don't know if you can see, they're all patchy. They're well, that car doesn't seem to care. But there's slippery stuff on them. The key to driving on roads that are slippery is to not make any sudden movements. No sudden swerves, No sudden turns, no stutter braking, no sudden acceleration. Smooth and steady. That's what you need on slippery roads. One little twist of the wrist. I remember this guy, one of my favorite boyfriends. We had gone somewhere. We were driving down this slippery road, and I laugh when I get scared, or I laugh when I get really nervous, and it was really bad when I was younger. I've gotten better about it. And I'd asked him, I said, is it slippery? And he twisted the wheel just a little bit. Next thing you know, we're like sliding all down this road. And he's in his mom's and dad's car, because how old were we? We were in high school. And I start laughing because I'm nervous and scared. Oh, did he get mad at me? It's not funny. It's not funny. Meanwhile, I'm laughing harder because now he's mad at me, which makes me more nervous. Yeah, as you can see, that was a really horrible, horrible habit to have. It took a long time for me to break. And I didn't even realize I did it until somebody said something to me. They were like, oh yeah, when you get nervous or scared, you laugh. I'm like, huh. Well, there you go. Of course, I laugh now all the time. Not because I'm nervous or scared all the time, just because I'm less stressed out than I used to be when we lived in the city. I mean, even though I go into town, it's really not, it's a city, but it's not a city. It's very small, quiet, low crime. I love it. All right, guys, I'm going to have to get off here because I'm just jabbering, and I've got to put my Waze on to make sure that I get where I'm going. Pretty sure my exit's coming up pretty soon, so I will post this today when I get back to the house and start making banana bread so I can make a milking video for you tomorrow. Talk to you later. Have a good day, guys. Guys. I can't talk. I need more coffee. Bye.